Chapter 233. Witchman, Huo Ting, Cultivation Talent, Morningstar. Strength Talent, Pseudo-Mystery, 70%. Defense Talent, Pseudo-Arcane, 60%. Speed Talent, Pseudo-Arcane, 60%. Flame Talent, Pseudo-Mystery, 50%. Fire Spear Talent, Pseudo-Arcane, 60%. Savvy Talents, Elementary. It turned out to be a talent of understanding. And there's still a talent of understanding in this world. Yi Tian was very excited. Without saying a word, he immediately copied the other party's comprehension talent, for fear that in the next second, the witch named Huo Ting would go offline and leave, and he would not have time to cry. The comprehension of a person with the same cultivation talent is basically the same. The higher the cultivation, the higher the comprehension, and the comprehension will improve. But in the case of the same realm, there isn't much difference in a person's comprehension, unless one person's cultivation talent is very high and the other person's cultivation talent is very low. Then, a difference in comprehension will occur. For example, if king-level individuals of the same realm all have transcendental-level cultivation talents, and they possess the same top-level sword skills, if they go to comprehend a sword skill, and at the same time learn and cultivate to the consummation realm, the time will be about the same, and there will be no big difference. But if you have the gift of understanding, it's different. If the ability to comprehend innate ability improves comprehension, the speed of comprehending sword technique, the comprehension of sword intent, the realm of the sword path, and even the comprehension of mysteries will increase significantly. Who doesn't like their talent to become higher? But at present, only treasures such as the Enlightenment Heavenly Monument and the God of War Monument can quickly improve one's understanding, yet it's only a temporary improvement, not a permanent one. However, if you have the talent of understanding, it's different. It's equivalent to permanently improving your understanding. And if you add the Enlightenment Heavenly Monument, what a terrifying realm that understanding has to be improved. No wonder this person is only at the king level, but he can comprehend so many talents to the pseudo-mystical level. The comprehension talent definitely occupies a lot of credit. Yi Tian guessed. After copying the talent of comprehension, Yi Tian went offline. In the training room, Yi Tian began to fuse this comprehension talent, and soon succeeded in fusing it. Consciousness communicated the imprint of the talent of perception, and the situation of the talent of perception was clear in his heart. The primary comprehension talent can increase comprehension by 3 times. Yi Tian instantly understood. The triple comprehension doesn't seem to be too high, but if there's a treasure like the Enlightenment Heavenly Monument to assist in cultivation, then the effect of contemplating the mysteries will be extraordinary. Others may have bottlenecks when they comprehend the mysteries, which are difficult to break, but it will be easy to break the bottleneck of the mysteries under triple comprehension. In fact, the cultivation effect under triple comprehension is definitely more than 3 times. The primary comprehension talent can only increase comprehension by 3 times, but I have the talent Divine Liquid. Yi Tian was excited. This was also the reason why he was so excited to see the comprehension talent. He could raise the elementary comprehension talent to an average, advanced, or even top-level cultivation talent. But the comprehension talent should be very rebellious, and the talent Divine Liquid needed should be a lot. The comprehension talent is too important. Even if it consumes a lot of talent essence, it must be improved. Yi Tian secretly made up his mind. Taking out the talent Divine Liquid, Yi Tian drank a full pound of talent Divine Liquid in one gulp, not worrying about wasting it at all. Rumble. The imprint of the comprehension talent absorbed the energy of the talent Divine Liquid, and the talent began to slowly improve. When a caddy of talent liquid was completely exhausted, the comprehension talent was finally improved from a primary talent to a medium talent. 1 pound of talent liquid actually raised the comprehension talent to medium. This cost is really a lot. Yi Tian sighed, but he didn't feel sorry for the loss of talent essence, and continued to take talent liquid. A few hours passed, and Yi Tian used 15 caddies of talent Divine Liquid, finally reluctantly raising the medium comprehension talent to the high comprehension talent. I hope you can only be promoted to the high level like the talent of time. Yi Tian secretly looked forward to it. After taking a sip of the talent Divine Liquid, the high-level comprehension talent had improved slightly. Even if there was only a trace of it, it meant that the high-level comprehension talent could continue to improve, and this was enough. And the previous high-level time talent couldn't be improved at all. There was no way to improve it with the talent Divine Liquid. Drink, drink, keep drinking. Yi Tian drank the talent Divine Liquid as water, and after refining it, he continued to drink it. Until the next day, Yi Tian drank a total of about 500 caddies of talent Divine Liquid, and until the talent Divine Liquid was almost useless, his comprehension talent transformed. Comprehension talent. Top. Phew. Finally raised the comprehension talent to the top. Yi Tian breathed a sigh of relief and said. He checked it and found that after reaching the top level of the comprehension talent, his comprehension could be increased by 20 times. With a 20-fold increase in talent all of a sudden, Yi Tian felt that he was invincible. Coming to a cultivation room near the Enlightenment Heavenly Monument, Yi Tian began to comprehend the Dao Dao realm under the augmentation of the Enlightenment Heavenly Monument, and opened the top-level comprehension talent and the high-level time talent. Rumble. Yi Tian seemed to be like a god. He had insight into everything, and he easily comprehended all the mysteries of the Tao of the Tao. The speed of the Tao of Tao's progress was incredible, reaching an unimaginable level. Originally, his sword path realm had already reached 1 into 7, but now he seemed to feel that he could step into 1 into 8 any time. The next day, Yi Tian's Tao realm stepped into the realm of 1 into 8. On the 7th day, Yi Tian's sword path realm stepped into the 1 to 9 realm. Half a month later, Yi Tian's Tao realm finally reached the realm of Ercheng. And the cultivation of sword skills was even faster. In just one day, Yi Tian successfully promoted the Star Slash to the Dacheng realm, and the Star Slash of the Dacheng realm could increase the attack by 80 times. It took another half a day, and Yi Tian cultivated the legendary sword skill to the Dacheng realm. It took another 10 days to finally cultivate the legendary sword skill to the consummation realm in one fell swoop. This is also Yi Tian's only legendary level sword skill at the consummation level. The amplification effect of this legendary level sword skill is slightly weaker. It can only increase the attack power by 90 times, which is not as good as other legendary level knife skills. But it is far superior to the attack level legendary level knife skills. With Yi Tian's current cultivation, he can kill the enemy with a single sword from hundreds of thousands of miles. How terrible is such a knife skill? Yi Tian even felt that as long as he was given some time, he would even be able to create a large number of gold-level sword skills, as well as legendary-level sword skills. However, his current knife skills are enough, and there's no need to waste time creating. Let's improve our cultivation first. Yi Tian decided. During this period of time, he hadn't cultivated well. Otherwise, he would have broken the limit of his body 8 times a long time ago. But just as he was ready to cultivate, a message came from the Glory Virtual World. His invitation to fight was accepted. The Broken Sword Emperor has accepted the covenant to fight. Yi Tian came to the virtual world for the first time. A virtual space. Yi Tian and the Broken Sword Emperor descended almost at the same time. Yi Tian, you dare to make an appointment with 5-star Emperor level combat power, and you also bet 5,000 points. Are you afraid that I shouldn't fight? The Broken Sword Emperor said with a little surprise. You must know that 5,000 points is not a small number, and many Emperor level points are also fast, and they don't even have 5,000 points. Yi Tian was also worried that a 6-star Emperor like the Sword Emperor would look down on a 5-star Emperor level appointment, so he bet 5,000 points. He's a newcomer, but the old man doesn't limit the gambling points. However, 5,000 points is enough, and he won't be too arrogant to gamble tens of thousands of points. If he really wants to win, he will completely offend the other party. He believed that seeing the 5,000-point gambling battle, coupled with the 5-star Emperor level strength he had shown, the other party would definitely face it. Sure enough, the Broken Sword Emperor took over this contract. I am also a swordsman. I want to learn the sword skills of the Sword Emperor. Yi Tian took out a Morning Star knife weapon, and a strong sword aura erupted, filling the entire void. Chapter 234. Sure enough, it's the Tao realm. The Broken Sword Emperor was not surprised at all. Some information about Yi Tian had already been obtained by the high-level officials of the Tianfu Superbase, and it was no secret that Yi Tian would have legendary sword skills. Any martial artist who has comprehended a legendary level sword skill must have a Morning Star sword talent. There are too few martial artists with Morningstar sword skill talents, so I'll advise you as a senior. The Broken Sword Emperor also broke out his own sword realm, competing with Yu Tian's sword realm. 1 into 4 sword realms. Yu Tian smiled faintly. Obviously, even the Broken Sword Emperor could not comprehend the Dao realm to a higher level. Yu Tian, however, had the Enlightenment Heavenly Monument, Time Talent, and Comprehension Talent, allowing him to comprehend the Dao realm to the Ercheng realm. If he didn't have the talent of time and comprehension, even if he had the talent of enlightenment and no time limit, he wouldn't know how long it would take to realize the talent of enlightenment to the realm of 2%. It's estimated that it would be the same as the Emperor of the Broken Dao, who had cultivated for decades to comprehend the realm of the sword path to the appearance of 4 or 5. At this moment, the sword realm released by Yi Tian was only about half of it, so it was suppressed by the sword realm of the Broken Sword Emperor. Yi Tian smiled slightly, and the momentum of the sword path on his body skyrocketed. 1 into the realm, 1 into 1, 1 into 2 realms. In the blink of an eye, Yi Tian's Dao realm surpassed 1 into 5, completely crushing the Broken Sword Emperor. Knock knock knock. The Broken Sword Emperor took a few steps back, feeling that Yu Tian's sword path momentum was getting stronger and stronger, and he was completely at a disadvantage. Suddenly, there was a wave of embarrassment on his face. He had said that he would teach Yi Tian's knife path, but he was suppressed by Yi Tian in the knife path realm, and his face was painfully slapped. Of course, his real strength isn't the realm of the sword path, but his cultivation. His cultivation is much stronger than Yi Tian's, and he has broken the limit of his body 10 times. And Yi Tian's realm, he could roughly feel it. Yi Tian obviously hadn't broken the physical limit 10 times. It should be the level of 7 physical limits. Such an emperor, no matter how powerful his talent is, can he surpass him? Yi Tian, come and pick me up, the Broken Sword Emperor shouted. Skybreaker. A golden knife tore in, as if the sky was about to be torn apart by a knife. Such a knife was enough to move Yi Tian, and even the 12 fierce beast overlords were faintly inferior. Obviously, the Broken Sword Emperor was a genuine fierce beast overlord level combat power. Yi Tian knew very well that if he didn't expose some trump cards, he would not be able to compete with the Broken Sword Emperor. Then expose the top spatial talent. Yi Tian decided, top spatial talents aren't unique. Tianfu's super base has top spatial talents, and there are also top spatial talents among the fierce beasts. As long as he doesn't expose his pseudo-mystic level spatial talent. The pseudo-mystic level spatial talent is too powerful, and once it's exposed, it will naturally cause a lot of trouble. But even if he is a top-level spatial talent, Yi Tian is enough to ensure that he is invincible. Swish! Yi Tian teleported away, dodging the sword of the Broken Sword Emperor. Teleport! Only then did the Broken Sword Emperor remember that Yi Tian still had a spatial talent. Suddenly, the void froze, but Yi Tian cast a space confinement, imprisoning the space. Imprison the void. You are a top-level spatial talent, not a high-level spatial talent. The Broken Sword Emperor was extremely shocked. High-level gifted space earners and top-level space gifted people belong to 2 levels, and the difference between the spatial abilities of the two is too great. Under the confinement of space, his speed was greatly affected. But Yi Tian can constantly teleport. Even if he is very strong, it is difficult to break Yi Tian's teleportation, unless his strength is far beyond Yi Tian. Space talent. What a darling of heaven and earth. The Broken Sword Emperor was envious. Swish! Yi Tian teleported again, came to the back of the Broken Sword Emperor, and slashed with a single sword. Then, a layer of defensive light appeared on the body of the Broken Sword Emperor, which was the manifestation of the arcane-level defensive talent. And there was a layer of knife curtain outside the defensive light shield, and this layer of knife curtain was transformed by a defensive knife technique. Bang! Yi Tian's knife slashed on the knife curtain, and the huge force shook the two of them back. The moment he stepped back, Yi Tian smiled secretly, because just now he checked the talent of the Broken Sword Emperor. Human, Hong Biao. Cultivation talent, Hue Wei. Strength talents, Arcanon. Defense talent, Arcane. Speed talent, Pseudo-Arcane, 70%. Knife talent, Morningstar. The number of talents of the Broken Sword Emperor wasn't many, but with the arcane level strength talent and the Morning Star sword talent, he was not at all comparable to the ordinary emperor. Even among the 6-star emperor level, he definitely belonged to the most powerful group. Copy. Yi Tian quietly copied away the Broken Sword Emperor's Morning Star sword talent. As soon as the Morning Star sword technique talent was copied into his hands, Yi Tian's purpose was accomplished, but the battle continued. Yi Tian knew that the attack power of the Broken Sword Emperor was very powerful, and even some 7-star Emperor level powerhouses were not necessarily stronger than the Broken Sword Emperor in terms of attack power. However, the speed of the Broken Sword Emperor was a defect. If the Broken Sword Emperor, who was already at the Emperor level, wanted to comprehend the speed talent to the mystery level, the difficulty was not ordinary, and it was almost difficult to improve. Yi Tian knew very well that his attack power was not as good as that of the Broken Sword Emperor, even if his cultivation was improved to the extent of breaking the limit of his body 9 times, his attack power was not as good as the other party. After all, the other party had broken the physical limit 10 times and completed the Great Transformation, and the Broken Sword Emperor had the same arcane level strength talent and the morning level sword talent as him. Even if the other party's legendary sword skill realm was not as good as his own, relying on the huge advantage of cultivation was enough to make up for this little flaw. Of course, Yi Tian knew that if he went all out to unleash the pseudo-mystery level spatial talent, advanced time talent, and other talents, he would definitely be able to defeat the Broken Sword Emperor, but that wasn't necessary. Drag. This was Yi Tian's decision. He would drag on for 10 hours, and if there was no result in the battle for 10 hours, the battle would be judged a draw. Yi Tian didn't want to lose, but he didn't want to be high profile either, and wanted to keep a low profile, so a draw was the best result, and it was also the result that Yi Tian was happy to see. Little by little, time passed. No matter how the Broken Sword Emperor attacked Yi Tian was able to use teleportation to leave, and from time to time he used the spatial blade to attack the Broken Sword Emperor, so that the Broken Sword Emperor was also afraid. Because the spatial blade was too powerful, in case he didn't have time to use the defensive sword technique, he might not be able to safely block Yi Tian's spatial blade attack just by relying on his arcane level defensive talent. And just like that, 10 hours passed quickly. Rumble. 2 rays of light flashed, and Yi Tian and the Broken Sword Emperor were removed one after another. This battle ended in a draw. I actually ended up in a draw with a 5-star Emperor? After the battle, the Broken Sword Emperor couldn't believe it. Soon, he realized that when Yi Tian challenged the Glory Tower, he was definitely hiding his strength, and if he showed his strength today, he would definitely be able to barely break through the 18th floor. In other words, it was completely possible for Yi Tian to be considered the weakest 6-star Emperor-level combat power. Chapter 235. Exiting the Virtual World. Yi Tian muttered, "Although some of my strength has been exposed this time, it is worth it to be able to copy a Morning Star sword talent. If I copy another Morning Star sword skill talent, then my sword skill talent will definitely be able to transform again and become a Bright Moon-level sword skill talent." But Yi Tian also knew very well how difficult it was for the Morning Star sword technique to be born. He didn't know when the next time he would find the Morning Star sword skill talent. However, he had already instructed the members of the Heavenly Pavilion to continue searching, and once he found a genius with the Morning Star sword skill talent, he would definitely be able to know it as soon as possible. Let's continue cultivating. Yi Tian was ready to go all out to improve his cultivation. Yi Tian had many mystery-level attribute talents, but he wanted to cultivate with the Moon Emperor so that it would be convenient to open the tenfold time acceleration and let the Moon Emperor cultivate faster. But in this way, it would be difficult for him to go to those cultivation treasure places to cultivate. Unless he asked the Moon Emperor to follow him to cultivate, but in that case, it would delay the Moon Emperor's cultivation. And Yi Tian didn't want to expose the mystery-level Moon God talent, otherwise, there would be no way to explain it. It is said that some attribute treasures can replace some attribute cultivation. There should be such treasures in the Points Mall, right? Thinking of this, Yi Tian entered the virtual world again and browsed the Points Mall. It didn't take long for Yi Tian to really discover an attribute treasure. First Order Alien Fire, Earth's Heart Fire. Strange Fire. Yi Tian remembered some kind of strange fire in novels, but there was still some difference. The strange fire of this era was born in some special places, and it was finally formed after a long period of evolution. Alien fire can also be regarded as a special treasure formed by the convergence of fire attribute energy. It's going to be exhausted. Alien fire is not eternal, it's not immortal. If there is no replenishment of fire attribute vitality, it will slowly drain energy. Therefore, once the fire is picked, it will eventually disappear over time, unless it is preserved in some way. One of the biggest uses of heterofire is to let the Emperor with the arcane level fire talent temper the body, so as to break the limit of the body. The quenching effect of heterofire is even better than that of a volcano. However, the alien fire will be consumed, and antibodies will be produced. For example, if a cultivator of the Huihui level uses the alien fire to refine the body, after breaking the physical limit once, it will be difficult to continue to break the physical limit, which is the same as refining with the fire vitality in the volcanic magma. Strange fire? Good. If there's a strange fire, I can stay in the heavenly pavilion or the moon god sect and accompany Yuer to cultivate all the time, without having to go out. Yi Tian thought. He looked at the price, and Yuo only needed to pay 8,000 points, which was not too expensive. After all, the Earth's core fire is only a first-order different fire, the lowest level of a different fire, and its value is naturally not too high. There is no place similar to the quenching effect of the different fire. There are so many volcanoes on the Earth, and if you go to a volcano to cultivate, even if the effect is a little worse, it will be a waste of time at most. Maybe alchemists will need some different fire for alchemy, but how rare are alchemists? And the alchemists who use different fire for alchemy must be top alchemists. How many alchemists are there today? For a type of alien fire, generally the top alchemists only need to save some for use. Occasionally replenishing some fire vitality is enough to use it for a long time. Therefore, the alchemist's demand for different fires isn't so high, and Emperor-level people with mystery-level fire attribute talents are rarely extravagant enough to use different fires to cultivate. Because of this, the first-order alien fire only needs 8,000 points. Buy! Yi Tian ordered and purchased a first-order different fire, the core of the Earth. The next day, the first-order alien fire, Earth Heart Fire, was sent to Yi Tian's hands by an Emperor-level individual, and the transaction was completed. Somewhere in the heavenly pavilion, at the top of the cultivation room. This cultivation room is specially built. The top is empty, connected to the outside world, able to attract the moonlight. The floating formation is activated, and there are two floating stone slabs that are relatively close to each other, floating in the air. Yi Tian and the Moon Emperor sat cross-legged on the floating stone slab. The Moon Emperor took the moonlight to refine her body, while Yi Tian took out the first-order alien fire Earth Heart Fire to refine his body. 10 times faster time, Yi Tian opened the time acceleration ability of the advanced time talent. With the passage of time tenfold, the two of them are progressing rapidly. For example, the Moon Emperor is now about to break the 5th physical limit, and this is because the Moon Emperor has spent a lot of time contemplating the mysteries and sword skills and sword intent. Otherwise, she would have already gone to the 6th physical limit. That's the horror of a tenfold acceleration time. Of course, the lifespan of the two of them is also 10 times the consumption, but Yi Tian and the Moon Emperor are both very young, so they are naturally not afraid of this kind of consumption. Tempering. Yi Tian used the power of the fire domain talent to attract the power of the alien fire to temper his body little by little. Rumble. The power of the alien fire swept through his body, as if turning Yi Tian into a fireman. What a terrifying quenching effect. It is worthy of a different fire. Originally, I cultivated in Huolong Mountain, and the quenching effect of fire vitality on me wasn't very great. But now, the quenching effect of this alien fire power is even better than the quenching effect I first had in Huolong Mountain. Yi Tian said excitedly. In this way, it won't be long before he can break the 8th physical limit. A month in the real world. Yi Tian said with a sigh. As time passed, the aura of the two grew steadily. On the 22nd day, the Moon Emperor's aura suddenly rose a lot. She had completely broken the 5th physical limit, and her strength had soared a lot. On the 31st day, Yi Tian also reached the bottleneck. Immediately, with the assistance of the alien fire, he easily broke the 8th physical limit, and his body strength reached 800 dragon power. At this moment, Yi Tian suddenly had a feeling. The body is going to be transformed. Yi Tian said to himself. It wasn't about breaking the limits of the body, it was more like a sublimation. Suddenly, he thought of a possibility. Innate fire spirit body. It was very likely that he was about to condense the body of the innate fire spirit. Although he had broken the 8th physical limit, he did not break through with a single attribute element. Instead, he used a variety of attribute vitality, each of which was not enough to refine the body and could not reach the level of condensing the innate body. And this time, he used the power of alien fire to refine his body, and he had used the magma in Huolong Mountain to refine his body with fire vitality before, which reached the threshold of condensing the body of the innate fire spirit. Once the innate fire spirit body is condensed, the refining effect of the fire attribute vitality will be more obvious in the future, and the power of urging the innate fire spirit body to use the fire attribute talent will also be greatly increased. For example, the Moon Emperor, once she uses the innate moon spirit body, her Moon God talent, Moon Blade talent, and Moon Hand talent will be greatly enhanced, which is also an effect of the innate body. Keep refining, Yi Tian decided. The Moon Emperor on the side stabilized the limit of her 5th body and did not continue to use the moon power to refine her body. Instead, she began to comprehend the sword intent. Now, her sword intent has reached the realm of 70%. With 10 times the time and the Enlightenment Heavenly Monument, she firmly believes that she will soon be able to comprehend the sword intent to 10%, and at that time, she will be able to cultivate the gold-level sword skill to the perfection level, and her strength will also be able to rise significantly. Chapter 236. The Moon Emperor comprehended the sword intent, while Yi Tian continued to temper his body with different fires. As time passed, the energy of the alien fire became less and less. Now, a third of it had been lost. If the alien fire were placed in the volcano and absorbed the fire vitality, some energy could be restored, but it would take a little longer. However, Yi Tian didn't care about the consumption of the alien fire at all. Even if it was exhausted, he didn't mind. In the past 10 days, Yi Tian had already used 10 times the acceleration time, which was equivalent to a full 100 days of cultivation. This day, Yi Tian's body underwent a metamorphosis, and the entire alien fire was directly swallowed by Yi Tian. A trace of the power of the fire system law poured into Yi Tian's body, changing the essence of his body. Gradually, Yi Tian's body emitted a scorching flame power, as if it could incinerate the void. Fortunately, this cultivation room was equipped with a powerful formation, otherwise, the heavenly pavilion would have been burned by Yi Tian's flame vision. Husband, you're about to condense the body of the innate fire spirit. The Moon Emperor opened her eyes, looked at Yi Tian happily, and said, It took her many years to use the moon power to refine her body, and only a few years ago did she use the moon and sun of the beast world to condense into the body of the innate moon spirit with the help of extremely rich moon power. And Yi Tian became an emperor level. After cultivating for such a short period of time, he successfully condensed the body of the innate fire spirit and broke the limit of his body 8 times. Such a talent is so extraordinary. Others don't know her husband, but she knows very well that her husband has not used treasures such as the boundary-breaking pill to forcibly break the physical limit. Instead, he has been practicing normally, completely breaking the physical limit perfectly, and his potential is limitless. Those emperors on the emperor list who have broken the physical limit 10 times are not even worthy of lifting shoes for her husband. Her husband is the first genius in the world, and he will definitely be the strongest in the world in the future. The Moon Emperor didn't cultivate anymore, and her eyes kept looking at Yi Tian like this. A few hours later, the flame power retracted into his whole body. Yi Tian opened his eyes, and a powerful innate coercion spread. The condensation of the innate fire spirit body has been successful. Yi Tian smiled slightly. If you want to say how excited he was, it wasn't that much. It could only be said to be a small gain. This time, after condensing the body of the fire spirit, he swallowed up the alien fire at once, thus refining the body again, almost completing 1/10 of the progress of hitting the limit of the 9th body. That's a pretty good progress. The 9th physical limit is difficult to break in a short period of time. The more times you break the physical limit, the more difficult it is. Unless you use the boundary-breaking pill to break the physical limit, otherwise the average Huiwi level cultivator may not be able to break the 9th physical limit in 300 or 400 years. I have no superior cultivation talent. If I really want to cultivate, I can break the 9th physical limit in 7 or 8 years, and if I accelerate it tenfold, I can break the physical limit in less than a year. If it is in the attribute treasure land, it will be close to 6 or 7 months at least. Yi Tian secretly calculated, after 6 or 7 months of penance, he didn't have this intention for the time being, unless he could reuse a treasure similar to the alien fire. But the first order alien fire was undoubtedly of little use to him, unless it was a higher level alien fire. But this kind of alien fire is too rare and difficult to find, and there are still several first order alien fires in the Points Mall, but he didn't buy them. Forget it, let's relax for a while. Yi Tian planned so, but he and the Moon Emperor had just relaxed and spent a sweet 2-day world when a troublesome thing came. If it was an ordinary matter, Yi Tian could ignore it, but this time it involved the Fierce Beast World and the Fierce Beast Overlord. Heavenly Pavilion. The Tomahawk Emperor personally came to meet Yi Tian. Emperor Yi Tian, something big has happened. The Tomahawk Emperor said with an anxious expression. What's the matter? Yi Tian had a premonition that something was wrong. The Battle Axe Emperor took out a piece of information. Emperor Yi Tian. This is a piece of information that an Emperor-level individual got when he was training in the Beast World. The Black Dragon Overlord died, and its body was discovered by that Emperor-level individual. Isn't it a good thing that the Black Dragon Overlord is dead? Yi Tian said, Emperor Yi Tian, let's take a look and talk about it. The Tomahawk Emperor's face was still pale. Yi Tian opened the information and browsed it, and the more he looked at it, the more solemn his face became. The Black Dragon Overlord was actually cut off, and he was killed by another fierce beast in one blow. Yi Tian was very dignified. That Emperor-level individual guessed that the fierce beast might have surpassed the scope of the fierce beast Overlord and reached another level. Otherwise, how could the Black Dragon Overlord be killed in one blow? Sun-level bloodline talent. Yi Tian finally remembered the matter of the Holy Dragon Fruit. On that day, he took away 2 Holy Dragon Fruits, but there were still 7 Holy Dragon Fruits that were snatched away by the 7 fierce beast overlords. Although it has only been a short time, those 7 fierce beast overlords may not have stepped into the god level, that is, the divine beast level. But what if? In case a fierce beast overlord steps into the god level, then the Zhonghai Superbase must immediately withdraw to the Earth's side and dare not step into the world of fierce beasts again. Otherwise, the attack of a divine beast is not something that the Zhonghai Superbase can withstand, and even the Tianfu Superbase may not be able to stop a divine beast. The Battle Axe Emperor also knew that above the Emperor level was a god level at this time, and asked guessingly, Emperor Yi Tian, has this fierce beast world given birth to a god level fierce beast? I don't know, but I don't rule it out. Yi Tian said, if it's a divine beast. The Tomahawk gritted his teeth, knowing very well what this meant. Tomahawk Emperor, you first transfer all the other emperors back, and only send a few emperors and some saint-level guards to the base. In addition, this matter should not be prosecuted for the first time, so as not to cause unrest. The fierce beast blood, all kinds of elixirs, and treasures in the fierce beast world are all resources of the Zhonghai Superbase, and they are most of the resources. If you cannot give up, you naturally can't give up. Yi Tian proposed, that's natural. The Tomahawk nodded in response. Yi Tian pondered for a while and said, that's it. I'll go to the beast world and investigate. When the Battle Axe Emperor heard this, his expression changed greatly. Emperor Yi Tian, wouldn't this be too dangerous? Even the Black Dragon Overlord, a terrifying beast that made the entire Zhonghai Superbase only able to use the God of War Tower to attack, was killed in one blow. Wouldn't it be very dangerous if Yi Tian went? Tomahawk Emperor, don't worry. Although the Black Dragon Overlord is a fierce beast overlord and has completed 10 bloodline transformations, his strength is not strong, and it is only a 5-star Emperor level. In fact, my real strength is not a 5-star Emperor level, but a 6-star Emperor level. And in the face of a 7-star Emperor level, I also have a means to save my life. Yi Tian revealed a little information and said, what? The Tomahawk was stunned. Yi Tian's strength was terrifying. He didn't doubt Yi Tian's words. An emperor like Yi Tian wouldn't brag. Besides, for this kind of dangerous thing, if he didn't have enough strength, who would go? Since Yi Tian said so, he must have confidence. So, the Tomahawk Emperor agreed to Yi Tian's suggestion. Immediately, Yi Tian went to talk to the Moon Emperor. Although the Moon Emperor was reluctant, she still agreed that Yi Tian would go. After all, this was related to the safety of mankind and the future of the Zhonghai superbase. Of course, it was also for them to have a safe cultivation environment in the future, so Yi Tian went to investigate this matter. And Yi Tian actually has another plan. If those fierce beast overlords hadn't stepped into the god level, if he had the ability, he would have killed them to prevent future troubles.